Alright. Hi, welcome to the video blog for Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 3. Boom, boom, boom. This is a video blog of Game of Thrones, and we're going to keep it casual. I'm Scott from Pixel Wankers.
And I'm the wife, Sam.
And, let's talk.
Bring it.
So what do you think about episode 3?
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like each episode, they're not covering as much ground as I'd like them to, and so it's like, okay, come on, give us a little more, you're only giving us little bits of everything, and I don't know, I maybe it's because George hasn't written that far yet, I don't know.
Well, I think that he hasn't written that far. I think he's still on the writing staff, or like he collaborates with them. But I think for the most part they're actually going off there on their own kind of thing for writing wise. But I think the reason why this was a slower simmer versus like the last episode where Jon came back, he's back, was because he just came back. They just did one big huge thing, so they're not necessarily going to do another huge thing right after it.
I know, but they've got me hooked, and I want more and more and more. I'm like an addict now,
But there's some good stuff.
True.
Jon waking up was interesting.
That was very, very interesting.
I like the way that they did it, because it's like, he woke up, and it's like, it's exactly how I think you would, I guess on the show after the show, when you were listening to like the creators talk, they were saying that is, they had a lot more dialogue planned for it, but they decided to get rid of it because they didn't need the dialogue. You know what I mean? And they really didn't. The shot worked great by itself. Like, the guy realizing...
That realization just really, like, hit Jon, and you could just see it. He was just utterly petrified and mortified and all those afied.
Yeah, it was definitely about the reaction of Jon of being like, I'm back, and seeing those wounds in his, like, body and stuff is like...
Abdomen.
Ooh, like that just makes you a little queasy, thinking like, what if I came back to life and I have big gaping holes in my,
And of course my last memory is, oh, I got stabbed to death. And you see these big gaping holes. How would you react? I don't know. I'd probably vomit or something, like...
You'd Sam it.
Sure.
Because he's on his way. That was there's a lot of little side stories in this that didn't really go anywhere. Sam, and I'm not trying to be mean by not going anywhere, but it's just he had his thing. He's worried about where he's going. I think it's going to end up being more of a story, but ultimately, he's just traveling on the boat, trying to get to the next place that...
Pretty bit boring. He had motion sickness. Whoopee.
It was funny to see the barf.
Ew. No one wants to see that. But anyway, so let's talk about Bran.
Bran was cool. I like that we got a chance to go back to the past again and see the fight that as a kid he'd heard about, his dad beating this legendary swordsman.
But what makes it better is that it's not just a retelling; it's a whole discovering that it's not quite how it was told, so that was really, really interesting.
Yeah. I think that it was cool that, he stabbed in the back. Don't you?
Yeah, but the thing about Ned is that he's very chivalrous. And Ned
didn't stab him.
I know, but him and the guy that he was with, what they did was not very chivalrous.
No.
So... I don't know.
I mean, it definitely does kind of scream like eat a piece of humble pie type of thing. We've always thought that Ned was this really nice, good, upstanding kind of guy.
And I think he still is. This didn't really affect my opinion of him. I just think that the whole point of Bran's his thing with this whole seer thing is that we're going to discover things that we had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
That people are not as forthcoming as they should be. And so, one theory that I have is that, yes, even though the whole Ned thing happened and the sword fight, blah, 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 but I really think what it's leading up to is this fan fiction storyline that I heard from a friend of mine from work, pretty much saying that Leanne, the sister, Ned's sister, got pregnant by that Targaryen dude that kidnapped her, and the kid that came from it is actually Jon Snow.
Bum bum bum.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah, that should be. I think that's probably where they're gonna go with this storyline. Honestly, with the flashbacks and each of them being kind of about young Ned and Bran learning about it, I think that's sort of where they might be going. I mean,
which would make sense because that would make Jon the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. Woo! What?
Fine.
If
you ever learned anything from this show, you never get the happy ending.
Fine.
We'll see. I mean, maybe we will get the happy ending, hopefully, in the end.
But it's just a thought.
Yeah, it's definitely hearsay. It's a bit conjecture. I'm sure some people are probably rolling their eyes, saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys are so flippin' ridiculous." But it's just kind of conjecture.
But so what about the Lannisters? That was pretty interesting at the small council.
Well, before that, it's so weird that they cut right to them at the small council and not at Jaime in the middle of the fight he had with the.
I know, right? What happened there? What happened? There was an ambush. The High Sparrow had his cohorts surrounding him, and Jaime was looking around like, "Oh crap! What have I gotten myself into?" And that's where they left it. They purposely set it up as a, "What the hell's going to happen to him?"
Nothing. Oops. I don't know. I almost feel
it's like as if they forgot.
I almost feel that they're out of order. There was the nice, actually, interesting conversation that the young the king had with the High Sparrow.
Oh yeah, that's
about
pretty
his
interesting.
mom. That was actually kind of interesting. It was a bit telling, and we'll see how that goes. But I mean, ultimately, it's just kind of a non-thing. Like, the Lannisters go into the small council meeting, they're like, "Well, we can be here too. We have just as much right to be here." And it's like, "Well, we all have just as much right to leave." It's like, really? That's where you're gonna leave it? You brought the mountain in here. They're filming it like the mountain's about to squash someone's face, and then all of a sudden it's just like, we're here, just left alone.
Pretty much.
Where's the backbone? Where's the Lannister killing spirit? Gone.
I don't know. Whatever.
So, I mean, it's a little disheartening, but I mean,
whatever.
Ultimately, we'll see what happens there. I think that the Lannisters are going to get back in the game, and they're going to be more serious part of it. But right now, they're just building up the tension with the mountain, thinking that he's going to snap, thinking that they're going to just destroy someone, thinking that the High Sparrow is going to kill Jaime, or Jaime's going to kill the High Sparrow, and then not do it.
They're going to give me an aneurysm.
With the Lannisters, it's all about building it up and giving you some tension.
But I guess what I liked about that scene particularly is that the Lannisters pretty much owned King's Landing, especially while Tywin was there. But now that he's no longer there and they don't have backbone, the whole point of that scene is pretty much to tell them, you have no power here. Yes, your son may be king, but you have no power here. You have nothing.
Yeah.
And so that's what I liked about it. I was like, that brings them down a peg or two. That was pretty cool. So, but anyway, Arya, that was good.
Yeah.
She got her sight back.
She got her sight back.
Yeah. No. I just felt so bad. She kept getting her ass handed to her by this chick, and she's blind, begging on the streets, and she gets walloped every single day. And she finally is able to combat her and get back at her and block a shot, and she's
smacked a bitch.
Bam. But no, so she's paid her penance, and the no mask god, whatever.
No face god.
No face god. My bad. Pretty much has forgiven her for her past sin. So yeah, good.
I think that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see more what happens to her. I think it's exciting to think that she might be a bigger part, because she's trained to be an assassin, so kind of what will happen in that storyline. I'm guessing that she's being trained to be an assassin, since that's sort of how she met the guy and got into this whole predicament. So I'm excited to see where that's going. luckily, it's not around any of the craziness that's happening down on the north side. So, I mean, that's at least good.
True that.
But back onto the north side.
Okay, so I know we already talked about John, but we have to talk about the ending. The ending was pretty good.
Well, so it's all about John and him, like, finally taking care of the traitors in Castle Black. Like, you killed me. You killed me. But I think that he did it in a good way. Like, and that's in a good way. He killed a kid and killed three other guys. You know, I mean, I guess that's as good as you can say. But in the same regards, it's like the guy who used to run Castle Black's like, I wouldn't change anything. If I got a chance to do it again, I would just do it again. It's like
a total cop out.
Yeah,
like he's trying to save face and he's full.
I would have stabbed him
shit.
in the neck. That guy is, oh my gosh, like, and then the kid is so sad.
He just he had this like look on his face. It's like, kid, you screwed up, so get over it.
The kid did not have any remorse for what he did. But honestly,
No,
like,
he didn't.
we're not toting like killing children or anything like that. But in the same regards, the kid made the decision to kill John.
The conscious decision to murder him.
And granted, like, the kid had a reason. You know, the kid had reason to do it. And so there's definitely, like, backstory to that. But ultimately, I feel like, you know, John had to do it. John had to slash the rope, hang everyone, and he hung up his
and I know
his robes at Castle Black.
He hated doing it. I know he hated doing it because the look on his face, he was just angry when he saw them just hanging there and Twitter, you know. Bleh. But no, yeah. So he pretty much gave up his Lord and Commander role at Castle Black and is no longer part of the Night's Watch.
Yeah, well, I mean, he died for it. He died for the watch. So
he did, and he's like, my
I think
watch is over.
He's paid his time. And that's good because he has a lot of more problems to deal with.
I know. Oh, I'm hoping he'll make his way to Winterfell. That's my hope, is that the Melisandre and them are gonna eventually bring him down more south.
What do you think about Melisandre and like her black magic voodoo that you do?
I didn't like her up until this season, so I'm on the fence about her.
It's just because you saw her naked.
She's been naked several times.
Old nakedy.
Old nakedy too, but anyway.
Yeah, so I think that she's still, I kind of hold her on, like, I don't really trust her. Very interesting. Like, I'm surprised she brought back John without having, like, him turn, like, nuts. Remember when they tried to bring back Khal Drogo? When they brought him back, and he was, like, nuts. Like a crazy guy. Like, I was a little worried that they were going to do that with John, but seems like John's kind of back in his element. He's doing his things, and he's kicking ass and taking names. So
Anyway, well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, definitely come out and check out our Pixel Winker episodes. We post them weekly. And we post on Facebook, YouTube. Podbeam is where we post our podcasts. And we also do Google Play.
And you said Twitter.
Yeah.
And, so let us
Thank
know
you.
what you think. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.